Thank you. Happy Wesak and good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Welcome to our BUBS Wesak celebration. My name is Sean and I'll be your host this morning. First of all, thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful Wesak morning, and especially to those of you who woke up at 5 a.m. to join us for our puja and meditation session. Before we go further, I would like to invite everybody watching this through Facebook and YouTube to like and share this video so more of your friends can join us on this Wesak morning and learn the Dhamma, and perhaps, who knows, one day they may be a future Buddha as well. Thank you all for liking and sharing. We have 60 viewers now. Let's try to hit 100 by the end of today. Now, the program for Wesak this year will start off with our BUBS Wesak 2021 opening speech by none other than our BUBS president, Brother Danny Liu. And this will follow by the offering of flowers, incense, candlelights, and puja. But before we begin, may I invite Brother Danny to give his Wesak Day remarks.
Good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, members and friends of Bandar Uttama Buddhist Society, Suki Hotu. Happy Wesak to all, and I hope everyone is doing fine and staying safe. It is with great blessings that we are gathered here this morning virtually to commence the celebration of Wesak 2021. The Wesak theme for this year is Peaceful Heart, Joyful Living. As you are aware, Wesak is one of the most important events in the Buddhist calendar. It is the day where we commemorate the birth of Prince Siddhartha in Lumbini, his enlightenment in Bodh Gaya, and finally his attainment of Parinibbana in Kushinara. Now, for the second year running, we are celebrating Wesak under a movement control order due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Even though most of us cannot visit our regular centers of Vihara, we should take this opportunity to visit our inner Vihara, okay, the one which is within our hearts. Okay. As we celebrate Wesak, we should not just today, but every day remind ourselves to imbue in the Dhamma. We need to make determination to practice meditation and cultivate mindfulness throughout the day to watch our thoughts, speech, and actions. We also need to put effort to overcome any unskillful thoughts, speech, or action to maintain the well-being of our minds and hearts. The inner peace that we generate through our practice will naturally manifest and radiate to everyone around us, especially our loved ones, and also not forgetting those who are directly or indirectly affected by the pandemic. This is a very noble way to lend a helping hand to those who are in need. So last but not least, before I invite everyone to participate in our Wesak program, I would like to take this opportunity to express my deepest appreciation and gratitude to the BUBS Excos, members of the Wesak Organizing Committee, devotees and volunteers who have continuously and generously support BUBS. So I hope you have a wonderful and a blessed Wesak day. Stay safe, everyone, and may you all continue to grow in the Dhamma. Thank you. Sadhu.
Sadhu, thank you, Brother Danny, for your kind words. And brothers and sisters, I hope that those kind words have brought you peace in your heart and some joy in your lives. Now, brothers and sisters, I would like to invite all of you to sit in a comfortable position so that we begin with
brothers and sisters
we can begin with our offering of flowers, incense, and candlelights. I'd like to invite the BUBS Exco to lead us in the offering of the flowers, incense, and candlelights. Thank you to the BUBS Exco for leading us in the offering session, as well as thanks to all brothers and sisters watching for partaking in this offering session. Now, brothers and sisters, as we made our offerings just now, and as you will continue to make offerings later throughout the day, as well as tomorrow, we urge you to remember the significance of these offerings, the flowers to signify impermanence, the incense to signify the smell of morality, as well as the candles to signify wisdom. Now, brothers and sisters, please let us have a seat and sit in a relaxed position with our palms together, as well as take a moment to compose ourselves as we are beginning our puja session.
Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, we are here today to venerate the three jewels. We commit our faith to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and our lives as members of the community he established. We uphold the path shown to us and we vow to learn, to follow, and to share it with others for as long as this life lasts. Please make the 5-point prostration twice. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. To the Buddha, our teacher, to the Dhamma, his teachings, and to the Sangha, the order of his disciples, we go for refuge. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Tutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Tutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Tutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. Let us observe the 5 precepts. Panatipata veramani sikapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana veramani sikapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu michachara veramani sikapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikapadang samadhiyami. Sura meraya majapamadatana veramani sikapadang samadhiyami. Let us now recollect the 9 great qualities of the Buddha, the 6 characteristics of the Dhamma, and the 9 attributes of the Sangha. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vijja charana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhammasarati Satta deva manusana Buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipasiko opanayiko pacatam veditabo vinyuhiti Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Ujo patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Samici patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yaditam cattari purisa yugani Atta purisa punggala esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho ahuneyo pahuneyo dakineyo anjali karaniyo anuttarang punya ketang lokasati. Let us pay homage to the three objects of veneration. Vandami cetiyang sabang sappatane supatititang saririka datu mahabodhim buddha rupang sakalang sada. Let us pay homage to the Bodhi tree. Yasa mule nisino va sappari vijayang aka pato sappanyutang satta vande tang bodhipadapang ime ete mahabodhi lokanate na pujita aham pite namasami bodhi raja namatute. Let us make our offerings of flowers, lights, incense, and water to the Buddha. Gana sarapaditena dipena tamadamsina Tiloka dipang sambodang pujayami tamonudang Wana ganda guno petang etang kusuma santating Pujayami muninda sa siripada saroruhe Pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punena metena ca hotu mokang popang milayati yatta idam me kayo tata yati vinasa bawang Ganda sambara yutena dupena hang sugadina Puja ye puja niyang tang puja bacana mutamang Adiwase tuno bante paniyang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya patigan hatumutamang. Let us share the merits that we have accumulated through this Buddha Puja and through our other meritorious acts with the deities. Let us also recall to mind our loved ones, relatives, and friends who have passed away. May these merits that we have accumulated accrue to their well-being. Akasata chabumata devanaga mahidika punyang tang anumoditwa cirang rakantu loka sasanang Etawata ca amhehi sambatang punya sampadang Sabbe dewa anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya Idam me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo Idam me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo Idam me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. By the power of our merits, may we aspire towards the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Idam me punyang asawa kaya wahang hotu Idam me punyang nibbana sapacayo hotu Imang no punya bagam sabba satanam dema Imang no punya bagam sabba satanam dema Imang no punya bagam sabba satanam dema. Let us ask for forgiveness from the three jewels. Kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame bante buri panya tathagata kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame dhamma sanditika akalika kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamame sangha supatipana anuttara. Let us call upon the Devas and invoke the power of the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha to shield us from all sicknesses and evil influences. Sappitiyo vivajantu sabba rogo vinasatu mate bhavatwantarayo sukhi dika yuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalang rakantu sabba devata sabba bhutanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada soti bhavantu te nakataya kabhutanang papagaha nivarana Paritta sanubhavena hantu te sang upadawe nakataya kabhutanang papagaha nivarana Paritta sanubhavena hantu te sang upadawe nakataya kabhutanang papagaha nivarana Paritta sanubhavena hantu te sang upadawe. Dedication of place for practice. We dedicate this place to the three jewels, to the Buddha, the fully enlightened one, to the Dhamma, the teaching which we follow, to the Sangha, the Blessed One's disciples. Here may no idle word be spoken, here may no unwholesome thoughts disturb our minds. To the observance of the five precepts, we dedicate this place. To the practice of meditation, we dedicate this place. To the development of wisdom, we dedicate this place. To the attainment of enlightenment, we dedicate this place. For the happiness of all beings, we dedicate this place. For the benefit of all beings, we dedicate this place. With restraint in body, speech, and mind, we dedicate this place. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Please make the 5-point prostration 3 times.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. Let us now begin with our Paritta Chanting.
ทิตาจิตตาปริตตังวนันตุสังเกกาเมจารูเปกิริสิกรัตตเตจันดาลีเกวิมาเนทีเปรเตจกาเมตารุณกาเนเกยวตุมมิเคเตบุมมาจยันตุเดวะจลทลวิสามิยัคขันธามนากาทิตันตสันติเกยังบุนิวรวาจนังสาดโวเมสุนันตุธัมมาสวนกาโลยังภานันตาธัมมาสวนกาโลยังภานันตาธัมมาสวนกาโลยังภานันตานะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะดังสานังกัจฉามิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิดุติยมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิดุติยมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิดุติยมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิตติยมปิพุทธังสารนังกัจฉามิตติยมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิตติยมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิโยจักขุมาโมหะลาภะคะโตสัมมาวัพพุทโธสุขโตวิมุตโตมาราสภาสาวินิโมจยันโตภาเปสิเขมังจานตังวินัยยังบุญนังวรันตังศิรสารมามิโลกัสสนาทันจะวินัยกังจะตันเดจะสาเตจยสิติโหตุสัพพันตรายาจะวินาสเมนตุธัมโมดัจโจโยวิยตาสัสสะตุดัสเสสิโลกัสสวิสุทธิมังกังมิยานิโกธัมมนาสนาริสัตตวะโหสันติกาโรสุจินโนธัมมังวรันตังศิรสานามามิโมหะปดาลังอุปสันตนาหังดันเดจะสาเตจยสิทธิโหตุสัพพันตรายาจวินาสเมนตุสัทธัมมเสนาสุขตานุโกโยโลกาสัพพะปุปกิเลสเจตาสันโตสยังสันตินิโยจักโกจัสสวากาตนัมมังวิดิตังกโรติสังฆังวรันตังศิรสานามามิบุตตานุบุตตังสัมมาสีลติติงกันเตจะสาเตจยสิทธิโหตุสัพพันตรายาจวินาสเมนตุนะโมอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธั ตินะโมการะปปปาเวนะวิกัจจันตุปาโลวานะโมการะนุภาเวนะสุวัตติโหตุสังฆตานะโมการะสเตเจนะวิริงิโอมิเตจวาเสวนาจมาลานังปันติตานังจะเสวนาพุทธาจะพุทธนิยานังเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังปฏิรูปเดสวาโสจะภูเมจักตะปุญญาทาตัสสัมมาปณิทิจาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังบาหุสัจจันจะสิปัญจะวินัยโยจะสุสิกิโตสุภาสิตาจยาวาจาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังมาตาปิตุปาทานังพุทธดารัสสังฆโหนะกุลาจะกัมมันตาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังดานังจะดัมมจาริยาชญาตกานังจะสังฆโหอันวัญจานิกามานิเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังอารติวิรติปาปามาจะปานาจะสัญญโมอาปมาโดจะดัมเมสุเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังการโหจะนิวาโดจะสันตุติจะกตังยุตากาเลนะธัมมาสวนาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังคันติจะโสวัชชาสตาสัมมนานังจะดัสสนังกาเลนะธัมมาสากาจาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังตัปโปจะพรหมจาริยาจะอริยสัจจานันดัสสนังนิบานะสัจจิกิริยาจะเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังพุทธาสโลกนาเมจิตตังยัสสนะคัมปติลโสกังเวรจังเทมังเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังเอตาดิสานิคัตตวานุสัมมาธัมมปราจิตตาสัมปัฏฐโสติกาตันติตันเตสัมมังกลมุตตมังติอาเสวนาจะบาลานังปันติตานังจะเสวนาพุทธาจะพุทธนิยานังเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังบันติรูปเดสวาโสจะปุเบจะกตปุญญาทาตัสสัมมาปณิทิจาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังบาหุสัจจันจะสิปัญจะวินัยโยจะสุสิกิโตสุภาสิตาเจยาวาจาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังกาตาปิตุปาทานังพุทธดาราสสังฆโหอนาคุลาจะกัมมันตาเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังดานันจะดัมมจาริยาจะญาตกานันจะสังฆโหอนาวัจจานิกามานิเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังอาติวิรติปาปามาจะปานาจะสัญญโมอัปปมาโดจะดัมเมสุเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังคารโหจะนิวาโดจะสันตุติ ติอสุขังวิรัจังเขมังเอตัมมังกลมุตตมังเอตาดิสานิขัตตวานะสัมบาตมปาราจิตาสัมบาตสุทิงกาชันติตังเตสังมังกลมุตตมังติอิติปิโสภะคะวาอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิชาจารณสัมปันโนสุขโตโลกวิทูอนุตตโรปุริสธัมมสารติสัตตาเทวมนุสสานังพุทโธภควาติสวากาโตภควตาธัมโมสันติติโกอาการิโกเอหิปัสสิโกโอปัญญิโกปัจจัตตังเวทิตาโพวิญโยอิติสุปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆอุจุปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆญาณปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆสามีจิปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆยะติดังจัตตาริปุริสายุกามิอัตตปุริสปุกลาเอสะภควโตสาวกสังโฆอาหุเนยโยปาหุเนยโยตักขิเนยโยอัญจลิกรณิโยอนุตตรังปุญญเกตังโลกัสสาติเมตัญจะสัมปโลกัสมิงมานะสัมภาวเยอภริมาณังกุตังอโดจติริยัญชะสัมปาดังอเวรังอสปัตตังดิตัญชรังนิสินโนอาสยานโนอายาวตาสวิกัตตมิโนเอตังสติงอดิเตยะพระมะเมตังวิหารังอิธัมมาอุดิติงฉันปะกามศีลวาทาสเนนะสัมปันโนกาเมสุวินัยยันเดทะนาอิจาตุกาปะเสยังกุณเรติติมหาการุณิโกนาโทหิตายะสัพพปานินาปุเรโตวาปารมีสัพพะปัตโตสัมโพธิมุตตมะเอเตนะสัจจวาเจนะโหตุเตจยมังคลังจยันโตโกติยามุเลสักขิยานังนันติวัฒโนเอวังตวังวิจโยหิจยาสุจยมังคเลอัปปราจิตตปาลังเกสีเสปัตตวิโภกเรปิเสเกสัมปพุทธานังภะคะปัตโตปะโมดาทิสุนาคาตังสุมังคลังสุปปาตังสุหุติตังสุขันโนสุโมโหโตจัสสุวิตังพระมัจจาริสุปตาทินังกายกรรมังวาจากรรมังปะดากินังปะดากินังมโนกรรมังปณิดิเตปะดากินาปะดากินานิขัตตวานลมันตาเต
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters, for joining us for the Paritta Chanting. Now, please, again, please like and share this video so more of your friends can come and benefit from the upcoming Dhamma teaching this Wesak day morning. I see we have 97 viewers. Let's try to make it 100. Now, brothers and sisters, before we go to our Dhamma sharing this morning, I just want to ask, how many of you have been... Right, how many of you have been in BUBS since we were in the old establishment at Bandar at BU11, right? Before we moved to the new building that we are at now, right? So just write here in the comments long if you have been with BUBS for a very long time. Okay, just let's see who in the comments have been with BUBS for a very long time. And if you are a new member, please write down new in the comments down below so we can see who are the new members. Because coming up, brothers and sisters, we actually have our BUBS Journey, which commemorates all these years here at BUBS from our humble beginnings to where we are at right now. And oh, thank you. Thank you, Evan. Thank you, Tay. Thank you, Mr. Lim. Right, which commemorates actually our journey throughout all these years from our humble beginnings to where we are at now. And I hope that all of you can sit back and enjoy our BUBS journey, right?
The journey of Bandar Uttama Buddhist Society, or BUBS for short, began as an idea amongst some Buddhist residents to build a center for Dhamma practice in Bandar Utama. To take on the project, the society was formed on 28th March 2000. 9 years later, Uttama Bodhi Vihara, or UBV, became a reality. It was built through the enormous effort of hundreds of helping hands with funds of 7.3 million ringgit. Now, UBV is a thriving Buddhist center. It sees a constant stream of Dhamma teachers and practitioners, adults and children, helpers and those who need help. Our first spiritual advisor was the most venerable Dr. K. Sri Dhammananda Nayaka Mahathera. After his passing, Venerable B. Sri Saranamkara Nayaka Mahathero took over. Ayasma Agachita Mahathera guides us on matters relating to the Dhamma Vinaya. People from all walks of life gave selflessly towards the building of UBV. Many of them worked tirelessly behind the scene and even made personal sacrifices. The executive committee, headed by the founding president, led the land application process. They persisted through 2 rejections and succeeded on the 3rd attempt. A team of honorary building consultants contributed their expertise and time. They were supported by the new Center Operation Committee. The groundwork for the future activities of UBV was laid as early as the year 2000 when we rented a double-story house in Bandar Utama. On the first day of registration in July 2000, the Dhamma school started with an amazing initial registration of 100 students. By the time UBV was ready in 2009, the Dhamma school had grown to more than 300 students thanks to the dedication of Dhamma school teachers and volunteers. By then too, BUBS had a strong following of devotees. We had regular Dhamma talks and other activities.
It was in 2004 when I first joined BUBS. That time I was looking for a Sunday school to send my eldest daughter.
I joined BUBS in 2005 and was introduced by our late sister Tan Soo-Yin.
So it all started when I wanted to enroll my son in the Dharma class. Along with that, I was also asked to consider if I would also be a teacher.
I was actively involved in providing medical services to the Sangha member.
It's been 9 years since. I've loved every moment of that opportunity of being a teacher.
We come here to learn about the Dhamma and to practice it at the same time. So that keep us coming and keep us going.
Meanwhile, we were also striving hard to raise funds for the building of UBV. It was no easy task, as one fundraising activity followed another, starting from the first Wesak food fair. Yet our members, supporters and friends stayed high-spirited, and their enthusiasm was inspiring. Through their generous gift of time, energy and money for 9 straight years, UBV grew from blueprint into a new place of worship. It was a joyous moment when the building was finally completed at the end of 2009.
Ten years ago, Baksun invited me to his new house. Then we passing around here. Then we thought how wonderful to have a Buddhist center in Bandar Uttama. Today is a reality. All the credits should go to all the people. It's a great joy. How nice have one particular religious places to practice this noble teaching of the Buddha.
So when we have a place, then people can come together, people with similar values, shared interests, they come together and they can support one another. There's a mutual support, giving them encouragement, and to be, in a community where we have shared values and we feel inspired by one another's practice and way of life.
The blessing ceremony by 33 monastics led by Longpo Sumedo was a historic moment for BUBS.
We have come and taken part in this Buddha inauguration ceremony and witnessed the opening of this very wonderful building, this wonderful structure, and now you have the hard work of walking the path that the Buddha laid down. So the real essence of this Buddhist center is the people who come into it, the people who come to practice and study, work and help out here, and help to run this center. So when you come, we have these wonderful facilities. Don't look at those wonderful facilities as belonging to somebody else. Each one of you have a responsibility to give something and make this a better place. So you have to become a person who comes to this center and everyone is happy to see you and sad when you leave. Do not be a person who comes here that people are sad when you arrive and happy when you leave.
Today, UBV stands as an iconic Buddhist organization in Bandar, Utama. Other Buddhist organizations enjoy free use of UBV premises for retreats and Dhamma camps. Throughout the year, many venerables from the forest tradition visit us to teach the Dhamma and guide meditation retreats. Sangha members from other traditions continue to support our activities.
Different people have got different interests, different talents, different inclinations, different temperaments. That's one of the things about the Buddha Dhamma, is that it's so versatile. It can appeal to people from all walks of life, different inclinations, temperaments, and still it can be very effective, provided the right thing is given for the right person. When the Dhamma values become internalized, then that's how the Dhamma-inspired community can nurture, grow, and develop.
Learning Dhamma provide me with the ability to become a better listener and also keep me calm, especially when I face a tense situation, either during my medical practices or in the clinics and all.
The most important thing that I learned is to be more mindful, especially when it comes to right speech and right action.
Going forward, we are guided by our vision of building a Dhamma-inspired community. Our Dhamma work continues through a wide range of activities offered for the benefit of the community.
What I learned in Dhamma school is the 5 precepts. No killing, no lying, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, and no intoxication.
In Dhamma school, I learned to pay respect to the Buddha. I learned about the life of the Buddha. I learned meditation.
I learned proper sleeping posture, which allowed me to get some proper and good sleep.
When I was young, I used to kill mosquitoes when they used to bite me. But now, after I've learned not to kill, I became calm and peaceful and not to kill any mosquitoes.
The Dhamma school gives young children an early opportunity to learn about the Dhamma.
I like to come to BUBS because I like to meet new friends. Singing.
The food here is great.
And the clean environment.
For the young ones, we have Bodhi, which stands for Bandar Utama Dhamma-duta Youth. And in the pipeline is a young adult connection catering for young working adults.
Dhamma school has created a great opportunity for me to be a part of BUBS Youth as well, which is Buddy. So I have gained a lot of experience as well from Buddy, and that is one of the most grateful feel about joining BUBS.
Children come in, they grow up together, they go through this journey where they learn the Dhamma. When they graduate, the beautiful thing is seeing them come back and talk about their fond times then. I think that is so wonderful, and it's so important that we continue to do this for the younger generation so that we can continue to keep the sasana going.
We bring the precious gift of the Dhamma through regular Dhamma-duta activities, including Sunday puja, meditation, chanting, retreats, free publications, and Buddhism courses. Supported by the generosity of our members, we run many welfare projects. We have regular activities like dinners and pilgrimages for our members to come together and enjoy warm fellowship. At BUBS, we have a motto, a family that prays together.
Can you call?
Together.
I'm Teresa. Teresa told this is my
connection. Maybe if you call
that's my granddaughter.
Paksun or
Children are involved, but today they are not free. Only my son is free.
My 2 boys, they are 14 and 12 respectively. My wife attends the Sunday talks as well. So we come together as a family.
So it's a both parents and children to have Sunday activity together.
UBV offers more than just a place of worship. It provides enormous opportunities for us to serve the Buddhist community and help it grow. We invite you to come and learn the Dhamma and at the same time develop your practice and parami through volunteering your service. We look forward to seeing you, your family, and your friends at BUBS.
Now you have it, the history of BUBS summarized in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if you are an old, long member, don't want to say old, not so nice. A long member or a new member, we thank you sincerely from the bottom of our hearts for your support all these years. And although BUBS is closed physically today, but please make sure BUBS is still open in our hearts and we can still practice the Dhamma, and we look forward to building a Dhamma-inspired community through events like this, like an online Wesak Day. Now, brothers and sisters,
Sean?
the next session is what we have been waiting for, which is the Dhamma sharing by Venerable Ajahn Dhammasiha. Before we begin, I would like to...
Sean?
Hi, Brother Danny.
Yeah, can you give us 2 minutes?
Sure, no problem.
We might start a little bit late, yeah. Let me just have a word with Tan Ajahn first.
No problem.
All right.
In the meantime, brothers and sisters, I'll reply to your questions. Any opportunities to offer requisites? Yes, we do have opportunities to offer requisites. Please feel free to reach out to us. Actually, we will reach out to you after this event and we will see how you can offer the requisites.
Sean, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you give us a few minutes of silence?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Yeah, let me talk to Tan Ajahn first. All right, thanks.
Day.
Yes.
Already 12 o'clock.
Yes. Just sorry, just now we were a bit late. So we are ready to go live for Tan Ajah's Dhamma talk. Our MC will introduce Tan Ajahn first, and then we will follow according to the sequence of activities that I've shared with Tan Ajahn yesterday via the email. Shall we begin now, Tan Ajahn?
How would I know that you would know your program?
Yeah. Okay, if you're ready. Yeah, okay, Tan Ajahn, if you're ready, then...
glad that you're finally there.
Okay, Tan Ajahn, the MC will introduce Tan Ajahn, and we will begin our invite Ajahn for the Dhamma talk.
Is actually everyone already hearing what we are talking, or is that still a breakout room?
Now it's still in the breakout. Okay. All right.
Just
Sean?
let me know once we are really live.
Thank you, Brother Danny. Thank you, Tan Ajahn, for your confirmation. Now, brothers and sisters, before I invite Tan Ajahn, perhaps I could read out a little bit of his profile. Venerable Ajahn Dhammasiha is the abbot of Dhammagiri Forest Hermitage in Brisbane, Australia. Tan Ajahn was born in West Germany on December 5th, 1966. After finishing high school and serving as a conscript in the German Armed Forces, he studied business administration in West Berlin from 1987 to 1993. During field research in India in 1994 for a PhD on Indian corporate culture, he read the Dhammapada, which hit him as a true revelation. He was ordained in Sri Lanka in 1995 with Most Venerable Pandita K. Sri Jinavarisa. For 3 years, he trained at Nisaranavana, a forest monastery dedicated to solitary practice of meditation and meticulous observance of the Theravada Vinaya. In 1998, he went to Australia and trained at Bodhiana Monastery and the Forest Hermitage in Melbourne. During this period, he received teachings from some of the foremost living teachers of the Thai forest tradition, such as Long Po Tui and Long Po Plain. Tan Ajahn arrived in Brisbane in 2007 at the invitation of Brisbane Buddhist Vihara to help establish a forest monastery in Brisbane. He is now the abbot of Dhammagiri Forest Hermitage in Brisbane, Australia. Brothers and sisters, without further ado, please put your palms together as I would like to invite Tan Ajahn for his Dhamma sharing this Wesak morning. Good morning, Tan Ajahn.
Good morning,
brothers and sisters.
Blessings, best wishes to everyone in KL. Very happy to connect with you. We're missing out the last 2 years. I couldn't visit you, so it's great to be here, at least on Zoom.
Thank you, Tan Ajahn. Very happy to have you here as well to join us for our Wesak Day celebrations. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, we shall now do our opening homage and opening salutations to the Triple Gem.
Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let us pay our respect to Venerable Ajahn Dhammasiha by bowing 3 times together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. We shall now do the opening salutation to the Triple Gem. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. We shall now formally request Dhamma talk from Venerable Ajahn. Brahmacha loka dipati sahampati katanjali adiwarang ayachata santita sata parajaka jatika desetu dhammang anukampimang bhajang.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang namang sanghang namasami. alangte tena papima nyato tvamasi antaka. This is the Buddha speaking to Mara. The game is up, evil one. You are defeated, Endmaker. So this is what we are celebrating today. This is what we are commemorating. This is the momentous import of the Wesak full moon. This pronouncement of the Buddha against Mara, and the Mara standing for the defilements, standing as a symbol of death, as a symbol of samsara, as a symbol of darkness and evil, as a symbol of the forces of greed, hatred, and delusion. And the Buddha defeating him and then declaring his defeat. He can't play his games anymore. He has overcome forever the forces of the defilements. And that is the message which we receive today and which gives us inspiration. And the Buddha was sitting there completely on his own under the Bodhi tree, on what is called the Vajrivasana, the diamond throne. Although in reality, in the diamond throne, it was simply 7 sheaths of kusa grass, which someone had offered him. But it became the diamond throne from the Buddha's unshakable resolution. Because when he sat down on the nightfall of Wesak, full moon day, he determined that he will not break that posture, come what may. Now, even if his flesh and blood withers up and dries out, and only the skin and bones remain, he wouldn't budge. He would continue the battle against Mara until he has attained complete freedom from defilements, complete release from all attachments and all fetters. And with that resolution, he sat down, and this is an example to us how we have to practice ourselves. We have it easier because after the Buddha had defeated Mara first, he knew what are the tricks. It's a little bit like if you have a really good coach, if you're a martial arts fighter, a boxer, and you go into a fight and you have got an excellent coach who knows all the tricks of your opponent and can prepare you. And that is our situation. So we have it considerably easier than the Lord Buddha, because we have his instructions now how to fight that battle. You have the motto, peaceful heart, joyful living. And that is a very good motto for this Visakha Puja. Because if our heart is not at peace, then how could be joy in our life? The peaceful heart is a condition that we can live our life joyfully. But the question is now, can we have peace in our heart if the defilements are creating war and distraction and suffering and distress? So in order to have a peaceful heart, we have to go into that battle and we have to win it. That is the only way of attaining peace, as long as the defilements are there in our heart and are wreaking havoc, as long as there's greed, hatred, and delusion, as long as there's conceit, arrogance, jealousy, and so on, there's no way that there will be peace. So we have to enter the same battle. What I always find very inspiring about the Lord Buddha is that he has this combination of two qualities which often don't go so well together. He has that great compassion for all living beings. He wouldn't harm even an insect. Even a Devadatta would try to murder him and usurp the Sangha and did incredible harm spiritually to many beings. And even him, he wouldn't feel the slightest emotion of anger or resentment, and he would have compassion, unlimitless, boundless compassion even for his enemies. And he would have this supreme kindness. Occasionally he would focus his mind and direct loving kindness to one particular being. And then he could turn around people who were a moment earlier insulting him, and suddenly they bow to him and take refuge. That is the power of his loving kindness. But we may have noticed that occasionally we meet people who are very kind, but it may be connected with weakness. And someone may be kind because they're also a little bit afraid. On the other hand, we may have a real tough guy, someone who is not afraid and who is willing to charge ahead, who is really strong and energetic. But they may be lacking these qualities of kindness and compassion. Now, the Lord Buddha had both of that. And he combined the peak of kindness and compassion with the peak of resolution and warrior spirit. And we have to do something similar if we want to come out on top of that battle. However, if we want to win that battle, then we have to fight skillfully against the defilements. We should never underestimate them. And you may remember that the Bodhisattva did start with austerities. Actually, he did start with having two teachers who taught him very deep, profound states of samadhi, santa, vimokha, peaceful states of the immaterial attainments. But realizing that this is still a conditioned state and that it would still be impermanent, the Buddha left his teachers, and then he set out trying to completely extirpate any attachment in his heart and to completely go beyond sankharas. And he fell into a trap which was very common in ancient India and which even nowadays people can fall into. No pain, no gain. We know that all from the gym. Or at least we think we know. And the idea was, if we want to have happiness, that has to be attained through pain. And if we want the highest happiness of Nibbana, then the wrong idea was that this must be attained through the highest possible pain. And even the Bodhisattva, they got onto this wrong track, and he would fast till he almost died. And he said himself that he looked almost like a skeleton, and when he would touch his belly, he would also touch his backbone, because the skin on the belly was right against the backbone. There was no belly left. And finally, he was so exhausted. And for 6 years, he had continued like that. with unrelenting mindfulness, with unrelenting sense restraint, even in that weakened body. But in the very end, the weakness overcame him and he just collapsed and was almost dead. And then came the crucial insight to him. And he suddenly remembered the occasion when he was meditating as a little child under the rose apple tree, under the jambu tree. When the nurses were distracted, and his father, the king, plowing in the plowing ceremony. And the little bodhisattva, the little child, spontaneously attaining the first jhana. And fortunately, that memory came to the bodhisattva's mind, and he suddenly wondered, why was I afraid of that pleasure? Because that happiness from samadhi, from jhana, is completely aloof from sensuality and has nothing to do with any unwholesome states like anger, resentment. So he realized, I don't have to be afraid of that. That is on the side of what is wholesome and what is leading to liberation. And he wondered, is that the way to enlightenment? Is that the way to nibbana, to total freedom? And the answer occurred to him, yes. Samadhi and the connected happiness, the bliss, the rapture, and this is the way to complete freedom, enlightenment, and liberation. But he also understood that he can't do that with a body that is so exhausted. So he would make sure that he would eat again, not a lot, not for fun, not for pleasure, not for indulgence, but just enough that he could sustain his physical health and strength. Not for fun, not to indulge sensuality, not just the right amount. But even more important, he made sure that his mind would be suffused, purified, and made malleable and strengthened with the peak of mindfulness and equanimity through the practice of jhana, through the practice of samadhi. And we have to understand that this was in the background. And when he sat down and made this resolution against Mara, that he wouldn't budge and he would sit, that was based already on his practicing of samadhi. Now, this is what made him so unshakable. Now, this is why these states of samadhi, the deeper ones, from fourth jhana onwards, are also known as the imperturbable, the unnange, the unshakable. Because once the mind has gone even beyond rapture and bliss and attains to the peak of mindfulness and equanimity, that is supremely poised for insight, because it can't be moved in any way by either liking or disliking, or by any of the five hindrances. Now, the five hindrances now are fully suppressed. So when we look now at that big battle which occurred under the Bodhi tree on the Wesak full moon night, there's kind of two meanings. One is the external one, and there is the evil spirit Mara, and he certainly doesn't like it if someone gets out of his control, and he likes it even less if that one is a Buddha who will teach it to 1,000 and millions afterwards. So for sure, this external spirit would have challenged him and tried to disturb him. But at the same time, is also a metaphorical meaning, and that is a symbol. And when the Buddha in Padana Sutta talks about the 10 armies of Mavas which were assailing him, he is actually talking about the defilements in the heart. And that is a true battle inside. And when the Bodhisattva in the end called the earth to witness for our parami, that is that mudra which you see in so many Buddha statues, when the Buddha is just gently with one finger touching the earth, that refers to that momentous event. And when Mava came with his last outright assault, and the Buddha had only the earth to bear witness for the perfection of his parami. So this is what we require in order to be successful in that battle. We have to build up that parami, like what you're doing when you celebrate Wesak, when you observe precepts, when you observe maybe even 8 precepts, when you listen to Dhamma talks, when you practice generosity and set up all the complicated electronics to be able to do that. Wesak meeting, even in a lockdown, inviting visiting teachers. When you sit, meditation, and even if your meditation is not yet blissful and you're struggling maybe with an unruly mind, this is how we are building up the parami, so that when we come to the big battle against Mava, that we also can call on our parami, all the punya we have made, all the goodness we have generated, all the spiritual faculties we have developed, the faith, the saddha, the energy. I imagine that you may be sitting all night today. Wesak full moon night is a great opportunity to maybe not do the final battle with Mava, but at least to do the battle with sleep and to come out on top of sleep. Longpa Cha, our teacher, he did that regularly for the one prawn, about once a week. All the moon phases, the monks had to continue meditating all night. Because again, using the simile of a professional boxer, usually when you start your career, you don't go into the ring straight away against the world champion, because you just get knocked out and may get quite sick and damaged. You have to start with easier training partners to build up strength. So if we want to do the battle against Mava, against the deep asavas and underlying defilements one day and whip them out, it's good to practice a little bit. And at least on today, Wesak, you may want to win the battle against sleep. Sleep is quite strong, but not quite as powerful as Mava. But it's good if you come out on top of that at least. And then the parami are gradually built up. I'm not sure if you're all aware that we have a lunar eclipse. And here in Brisbane, it will be fully visible. We will be chanting. And Malaysia, I think your visibility will be rather weak. The moon will be just over the horizon, so you wouldn't see too much. But it's still a beautiful occasion for chanting the Chanda Paritta, the moon protection chant. Because not everyone may feel ready yet. When the Buddha made this resolution, he already had developed the jhanas up to the unshakable state of 4th jhana. And he had completed the paramis to the highest extent possible of a Samma Sambuddha. So he could make that resolution and he could win that battle. But we may feel that maybe we're not quite there yet. but still the forces of darkness are assaulting us. And what I like about this, the Chanda Paritta, the moon at an eclipse is said to be swallowed or grasped, taken hold of Rahu Asurinda, who is this big demon, is supposed to be the being with the biggest body, actually, of all spirits and animals and humans. Rahu has the biggest body, so very strong. Now he tries to grab the moon. And in this little Paritta, the moon takes refuge in the Buddha. He remembers the Buddha, he recollects the Buddha when he's in trouble. And then he wholeheartedly takes refuge. And straight away the Buddha helps him and speaks a gatha. And the moment the Buddha speaks a gatha, pointing out that the moon has taken refuge, that very moment Rahu can't hold on to him anymore. He just has to let him go. He says, it feels like my head is splitting into 7 parts if I don't let him go after the Buddha spoke the gatha. Now, of course, I'm aware that in astronomy, there is no demon trying to swallow the moon. Astronomically, we simply have the planet Earth being between the sun and the moon and shading the moon. And this is what we see as a shadow of planet Earth. But this is only the superficial external meaning. What I like is the symbolic meaning of the chant. And we all have experienced that our heart is swallowed by darkness, isn't it, to some extent? When we feel depressed, or when we feel anxious, or when we feel angry, or when we feel tired, no energy. The moon is a simile, a symbol of the mind, in particular a symbol of the bright and radiant and good qualities of the mind. And when that ever happens, that our mind is overcome by darkness, the crucial thing is remember the Buddha at that time. And once we remember the Buddha, then we take refuge in the Buddha. And once we take refuge in the Buddha, the darkness can't hold our mind anymore, because then our mind is filled with the Buddha. And we are connecting with the qualities of the Buddha. And even if we haven't developed the paramis to the same extent as the Lord Buddha, and we don't have the samadhi to the same extent yet, we can do that much, the act of wholeheartedly taking refuge. And even that will be enough, that the darkness at least can't swallow us. Even that will be enough that our mind will rise and emerge again from darkness and shine bright with the qualities of faith and devotion, with the qualities of mindfulness and discernment. Just like the full moon in the night sky after it comes out from the eclipse, illuminating the world. And I think that teaching is so important for us in the time of coronavirus. I'm not sure how you feel, but although here in Queensland we are in one of the best locations you can possibly be in the last 15 months globally in terms of the pandemic, even here we had lockdowns. Even here the people couldn't travel and see loved ones back in their home countries. And if we can't even go to the funeral of a parent, or if we can't see our spiritual teachers, if we are told if we can't hug our loved ones and so on, there can be considerable darkness and distress in the mind. And it appeared to me as if the last 15 months, and from what I read right now in KL, the figures going up, more death, lockdown, it appears now that the kind of darkness has descended now onto humanity. And then many people experience that their mind has started darkening. So this is what this Wesak is about for me. This is what this symbolism, this metaphor of the Chanda Paritta is about for me. Now, whatever happens with lockdown, even if we get imprisoned in our apartments and flats for a whole year, even if we can't see our loved ones, even if people may be losing their jobs or their business, we have to make sure that the darkness can't overcome our heart. We have to make sure that the qualities the Mava stands for, that the evil and darkness can never take hold of our internal moon, our mind. And even if we can't do the final battle against Mava, what we all can do, on Wesak at least, let us remember the Buddha. Let us bring the Buddha to mind. Let us recite Buddho, 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 Buddho. Let us go all night meditating and filling our heart with Buddho, so that we truly take refuge. And once we truly take refuge, the same thing will happen like to the moon. The Buddha will help us, so to speak. Again, not literally. It's not like a Buddha is floating down to you in front of you and chanting a gatha. But if you remember the Buddha today on this Wesak full moon night, and then you're in your heart and you take really refuge in the Buddha on this Wesak full moon night, and you sit there and you mentally recite Buddho, 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 Buddho. You imagine even a beautiful Buddha statue in your mental eye while you recite Buddho. The Buddha will come and he will help you. Because Buddho is the quality of awareness, awakening in our own heart, in our own mind. And the moment when on Wesak you remember the Buddha, you take refuge in the Buddha, you meditate on the Buddha, you strengthen your faith faculty, you repeat Buddho, Buddho. These qualities that Buddha is representing, wisdom, insight, compassion, the unrelenting effort and energy, supreme courage, we connect with that. And then just like resonance, you know these effects of resonance. If you ring a bell, a really powerful one, and there's another bell which is not exactly the same frequency, that bell will also start to ring just because it's picking up the sound from the other bell. This is what's happening in your mind. You recite Buddho, Buddho, and you start connecting with these qualities of the Buddha. And then these qualities will grow and become strong in your own mind. And suddenly our wisdom faculty becomes much stronger, and suddenly we can see with much greater clarity the Four Noble Truths. Can see more clearly that it is craving which causes our suffering. Nothing outside there, but the craving inside. We can see clearly that all that is required is to let go of that craving if we want to be free from that suffering. And we can see clearly that the Eightfold Path, right view, right effort, right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness and right samadhi, that this is a way, and we develop that right today in this beautiful full moon night. And while we are developing that, connecting with the Buddha, and the Buddha causing this resonance in our mind that all the good qualities start singing and resonating now, then just like what you will see with the moon, your mind will rise above any lockdown. Your mind will rise above any distress, whether separation or whether lost business opportunities. Your mind will rise above that, be freed from the darkness, and your mind will shine bright and radiant again, just like the moon you see in the night sky. And whether they continue locking you down or whether you even end up getting the virus and being in hospital, the crucial thing is that the forces of darkness never take over our mind. So that is my wish for you all on this Wesak. That is the blessing I like to share. And let us remember the Buddha. It may not yet be quite at that stage that we can sit down this Wesak night and say, no, I will not move until Nibbana is attained. I mean, sure enough, if you can do it, you got my blessings and go for it. But maybe not all can do that. But I think this is something we can do. Remembering the Buddha, at least on Wesak. And remembering him, then we really take refuge. Not just going through a ritual, but taking refuge like we mean it, so that the Buddha starts filling our heart. And taking refuge like we mean it is, you also make an effort to practice straight away. And the effort we make, now I recommend, if we can't defeat Mara finally yet, can you defeat at least sleep for one night and come out victorious on that one? And then you feel much stronger for the next battle. And then connecting with the qualities of the Buddha by that recitation. And then our mind coming out, rising above all hardship, all sickness. Wishing you a fantastic Wesak today.
Handamayang Dhamma Kataya Sadukarang Dadamase. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Anumodami.
And I believe we have a Q&A. So I'm very happy. Any questions?
Yes, Tan Ajahn.
Please go ahead.
Q&A session. Brothers and sisters on Facebook, please feel free to drop in your questions to Tan Ajahn today. Very Malaysian fashion that we have. Everybody is shy to ask questions initially, but when there is one question, everybody will start asking. Yes, we have the first one, Tan Ajahn. Tan Ajahn, please help to enlighten us why the Buddha's teachings we found in many suttas mentioned to take refuge in Dhamma and Vinaya, yet we still take refuge in the Triple Gem.
You repeat, I couldn't fully acoustically understand.
Oh, sorry. So the question is that please help to enlighten us on why in the Buddha's teachings we found in many suttas, it mentions to take refuge in the Dhamma and the Vinaya, yet we still take refuge in the Triple Gem.
Okay, so why is it a Triple Gem and why is it not only Dhamma and Vinaya?
Yep.
See, with the refuge, again, you can have a more superficial external understanding, or you can have a deeper internal interpretation. And if you talk about the external refuge, if you only have Dhamma and Vinaya, it is not quite as palpable than having the Sangha, because most people like to have a real kind of living living human being in the flesh, so to speak. Whereas Dhamma and Vinaya is more like an abstract principle and much more difficult to develop a close relationship. You can take Dhamma and Vinaya inside. You can take Dhamma and Vinaya deep inside and work with that.
I see.
But it is usually for most people. Could you just close the door? Leave it closed. That would be helpful. We just had a contractor here turning up, and I'm telling them that maybe we do that at a different time. Can we just close the door and just lock the door and then just leave it? Thank you.
Understood. Thank you, Tan Ajahn, for your explanation. Brothers and sisters, any other questions? Please feel free to ask. Because
sorry for that disturbance. I think I should answer a little bit better on that question.
No worries.
So most people find it much easier if they actually have a human being they can relate to. And the very best human being to relate to is the Buddha. However, the Buddha, one drawback is that he has attained parinibbana, and Prince Gautama lived a long time ago. But we do have the Kuba Ajahns. Ajahn Chah has passed away, but for example, Luang Por Liam is still alive. There's Thanajan Nan, Thanajan Dan. There's other great Ajahns, Luang Por Piak. And it is much more inspiring for most people if they can relate to someone who is alive and they can meet and talk to. That is a great advantage of having the Sangha as a refuge, because it includes the tradition of the noble ones, and it includes those who are still walking amongst us and can give you direct, friendly advice from one human being to the other. Does it help?
Yes, thank you, Tan Ajahn. I think that answers the question that was asked. Brothers and sisters, okay, we have another question here from Facebook. Before Buddha attained enlightenment, he had a dream. Can Ajahn share a bit of his dream?
Yeah, that was the dream that a huge creeper would grow out of his navel and grow into the sky. And this was all things which would symbolically express that he can, like I talk, we can rise above all the hardship. And the navel often relates to our subconscious mind, is almost something relating to the mind, and it can go out and go beyond that. There was also another symbolism that later he wouldn't be attached to all the fame and all the veneration and honor he would receive. So it's indicative that when the Buddha sat down, he talked about his resolution that he made, and he knew that he can crack it now. I think this is maybe the most important message about that dream. This expresses how the Buddha had awareness that he is ready and that he can crack it. And if we try to copy that and we sit down and we say, no, okay, we don't take the, we don't break our posture until we are fully enlightened, we may not be able to do that. But the Buddha had that internal awareness that the right time had come. I think that is maybe the most important part about that dream. If we are not yet there, then it's good. The other things I've been talking about, that at least we take refuge in the Buddha. At least we win small battles. There's a gradual training, and we cannot try to go into the big battle all at once. We have to start winning small battles, small fights, and then gradually building up strength until we can go for the really big one.
Thank you, Tan Ajahn. There is I think a follow-up question to this. So are these stories and these stories of the Buddha's dreams and the stories in the Dhammapada, are they supposed to be taken literally or figuratively, metaphorically?
I think a lot of them can be taken in both ways. This is why I talked about the Chanda Paritta. We all know nowadays astronomically what is happening. And it doesn't mean that I literally believe, and I talk about that, and about a big demon grasping the moon in a literal sense. But there are so many teachings in the suttas, in Dhamma Vinaya, where you will notice that they may have happened literally, but at the same time they also have a metaphorical meaning. So sometimes it may be both. Sometimes it may be one, and sometimes it is the other. And we have to use a little bit our wisdom faculty to figure out which meaning is the more important one. Usually the metaphorical and symbolical meaning is often the deeper one. For example, Mara. I certainly do believe, and it's very clear from the suttas, that there is an external spirit, that there is a being, and he can also appear in a manifestation in a particular form, and then he is literally disturbing people externally. But at the same time, it is also obvious from other suttas that the Buddha uses Mara as a symbol for the defilements in our heart. In other places, Mara is used as a symbol for death. And sometimes the Buddha almost plays with that, and it may not be 100% clear whether he meant the literal meaning or the more superficial metaphorical or the very deep metaphorical one. And part of our job in contemplating and relating to these teachings is contemplating about that. But I wouldn't want to go as far as saying that there's only a metaphorical meaning. That is another extreme. And in many of the things which in modern culture people maybe can't imagine, some people can't even imagine that there are spirits which they can't see. So I'm not going to say that Mara doesn't exist externally as a being. He does. But it's not a question of either or. It's not a question whether I believe in Rahu causing the lunar eclipse or I believe in astronomy. But both are correct explanation in their own plane. And if you want to predict when the next lunar eclipse will be occurring in the sky, I think you're working better with astronomy. They can tell you exactly. If you are overwhelmed by depression or frustration, lockdown, and your heart turns dark, I don't think that astronomy is going to help you. In that case, you need the metaphorical meaning so that by taking refuge, you can free your heart and bring up the luminous qualities again.
Thank you for the sharing, Tan Ajahn. We have many viewers actually commenting and saying sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you so much for your sharing. Brothers and sisters, yes, it is a rare opportunity for us to have Tan Ajahn here to share the Dhamma with us. So please, I urge you to ask whichever burning questions that you may have inside, because who knows, maybe this one question is what is preventing you from reaching Buddhahood, right? After you ask, then you may become a Buddha. We have another question. How do we let go of the dislike or hatred that occurred due to the continuous defamation by others, as the defamation has been many years and affecting daily life, such as not being able to have a job peacefully, not being able to go out to buy food peacefully, or even groceries peacefully?
Yeah, that can be very difficult if others dobbing you in or accusing you contrary to fact and causing tremendous trouble. I think that you may have to address it also externally, but I wouldn't be able to advise you on that. But I think there are lawyers who are specializing on defamation, and sometimes it may be necessary to try to take some external measures. However, whatever you do externally, in terms of Dhamma, we can talk how we internally deal with it. And even if you take external measures, never do it out of an attitude of hatred and resentment. So internally, one thing we can investigate in terms of defamation or abuse insights is a connection with the sense of ego. We have to see what really hurts us there. It can be that because of the defamation, maybe someone loses their job and then they have to deal with the material loss. But many of the defamations we experience may not have such severe external consequences, but even a slight insight can have a huge response in our mind. And that can be connected to the sense of self, to Sakkaya Ditthi, to entity view, to the delusion of I, me, and mine. Again, this being Wesak, maybe we can contemplate the Buddha again. And you may be feeling already relieved. You got so heavily insulted and defamation being done against you. But imagine even the Buddha had to go through that, and even repeatedly. So if even the most exalted being in the universe had to undergo that, being insulted and being defamed, contrary to fact, what can we expect? It is natural that these things happen in this world. And we can contemplate how the Buddha responded. There's one sutta where a Brahmin just approaches the Buddha. The Buddha is just sitting there peacefully meditating, and this Brahmin comes up and just starts pouring abuse on him, just insulting him, that he is wrong and that he doesn't get up for elderly Brahmins and he doesn't worship the Brahmins and this is all bad. And just walking up on the Buddha and then just straight away insulting him. And the Buddha obviously wouldn't get upset. He wouldn't get dejected. He just listened quietly. And at some stage, this Brahmin just ran out of words. He was standing there. And then the Buddha asked him, and he says, have you ever given gifts to other people? He said, of course, and I'm a Brahmin, and we have these big sacrifices, and I have given lots of gifts to all the Brahmins, and we do the sacrifices. And one guy doesn't accept your gift. Who does it belong then? A silly question is that. If he doesn't take my gift, then of course it's still mine. And then the Buddha said, it's exactly the same with your insights. It's the same with your anger. He told the Brahman, you are giving me all this anger and insights, but I'm not accepting it. I'm not taking it up. And they all remain with you.
Thank you, Tan Ajahn, for your answer.
It's not easy to do, but whoever asked that question, maybe there will be still external consequences of the defamation, but at least internally, please don't accept it. And even if you lose a job or have other drawbacks, in your heart, don't accept it. And if you know that it is wrong what they are accusing you of, then at least your heart is not overwhelmed by that.
Thank you, Tan Ajahn.
But it is tough, but please don't accept it.
Thank you. We hope that Tan Ajah's words can bring you a more peaceful heart. And of course, we hope that whatever you're going through, you can resolve it. We have our last question for today, which is how do we let go of everyday busy mind judgment, different perceptions, anger, fear, and worries? And how do we live in centeredness and joy, where we can settle peace of mind while we are filling out our work and home responsibilities?
Buddho, 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 Buddho. If you keep that one going, you will find suddenly all this other stuff is no longer there in the mind. So always reconnecting with the Buddha. Just like Chandima, the moon, remembering the Buddha. When you get distracted, when you get overwhelmed by all the external concerns in our world, Buddho, Buddho, or do the whole thing. Itipiso, Bhagava, Arahang Samma Sambuddho, Vicha, Charana Sampanno. Like, stay with that. And all this stuff you were just asking about, never just go away.
I see. Thank you, Ajahn, for your sharing and your advice. We hope that
this was a little bit simplified answer. That was quite a long question.
I think perhaps simple answers are the best. We tend to overcomplicate things sometimes, and we hope that practicing what Ajahn has said just now can solve your problems. With that, we have no other questions. Thank you so much.
I'd just like to apologize once more for the disturbance with this one question about the triple refuge, and because I had a contractor walking in on me right in front of me. The doors came up and he came in, and then other people talking to him. So my apologies that we had a little distraction there.
We understand. No worries about that. This is part of life. If no further questions, we would like to invite Ajahn to lead us in the closing salutation to the Triple Gem.
Maybe before we close, I'd like to give a short blessing to you.
Oh, yes.
That you come out victorious in the battle against Mava, or at least in the battle against sleep for tonight Wesak meditation. Mahakaruniko nato hita sappa paninang puritva parami sappa pato sambodhi muttamang etena satchavachina hutute jaya mangalang jayanto bodhiyamuli sakyanang nam nivadhano evang tuvang vichayo hijaya sujaya mangale aparajita paranke sise pathavi pokare apiseke sapabodhanang nakapato pamodati sunakatang sumangalang supabhatang suhurtitang sukano sumohoto cha suyetang brahmachari supadakinang kaya kamang vacha kamang padakinang manokamang paninite padakina nikatvana labhantate padakine.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Pay respects to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha.
Ajahn, perhaps we would like to invite you to lead us in the closing salutation.
Okay, we pay respects to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagavatam Abhivadehi. Savakato Bhagavata Dhammo
Namang namasami.
Sukatipanno
Bhagavato Sangha Sangho Sangham Nami. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let us pay our respect to Venerable Ajahn Dhammasiha by bowing 3 times together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow.
Thank you, Tan Ajahn Dhammasiha, for accepting our invitation to speak to us this auspicious Wesak Day.
It was my pleasure and an honor. Thank you so much for the invitation. Thanks for everyone who was setting up the electronic parts. I know it's quite difficult. And may you have a beautiful Wesak full moon night. May your moon rise above all darkness. May your mind shine brightly. May you remember the Buddha. Buddho, Buddho, Buddho.
Thank you, Tan Ajahn.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And once again, on behalf of BUBS, as well as everyone here in Malaysia, I would like to thank Tan Ajahn for the inspiring talk. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you so much and have a wonderful Wesak Day, Tan Ajahn. Wish you the best of health to continue spreading the Dhamma.
Thank you, Sadhu.
Sadhu. Brothers and sisters, please write down Sadhu in the comments down below so that Tan Ajahn knows that we are here. Also, we would like to thank Ajahn Moneo for facilitating the Zoom session from Tan Ajah's monastery in Brisbane. Now, brothers and sisters, we have completed our Wesak Day morning celebration, but do note that we still have a night event going on, which is the Dhamma talk by Venerable Ajahn Maha, as well as the full moon chanting. Yes, it is the full moon today, and what better way to close it off than with the full moon chanting. So we will see you here later tonight at 7 p.m. All right, but in the meantime today, let's take today to reflect upon the Dhamma teachings and remember what the Buddha has taught us. And until then, thank you so much, and a happy Wesak Day, not just by myself, but also by the Dhamma school children. Let's take a look at what they have.
Wish you
All right, that was quite the entertaining performance, wasn't it not, brothers and sisters? Please give a like and share for these Dhamma school children of ours who, from the bottom of their hearts, are wishing you a happy Wesak Day. Now, as you all know, we also have our very own group known as BuddySings. Please feel free to follow them on social media at BuddySings Official. This next segment is actually their performance from their upcoming album, now available on Spotify as well as other streaming platforms. And this song is 100% created by them. So brothers and sisters, please sit back and enjoy the music, but not just the music, also the meanings and wonderful messages behind the songs. Without further ado, I'd like to invite none other than BuddySings to give us their performance.
Hi everyone, we are BuddySings from Bandar Utama Buddhist Society, and this is Nothing Stays the Same Forever.
Nothing stays the same forever. Our lives can be something better. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. Endings will be new beginnings. There's a time and place for everything. You need to know. Truth is, we live in this world where space and time rules our very universe. There'll be all kinds of moments on this train of life that never turns back. All the sceneries before our eyes will go through changes with the seasons. All the people whom we care about will never be the same when we meet again. Oh, you know nothing stays the same forever. Our lives can be something better. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. Endings will be new beginnings. There's a time and place for everything. You need to know.
It's called impermanence. The cycle of rebirth is a part of our life, so you gotta be prepared. You see the world goes round in the circle of life, where life and death happens to things we care about. Change can be scary, but don't be afraid, as it gives us freedom. It's the wonder of our life, so embrace your life. Accept the changes, with the changes make the world a better place.
Nothing stays forever. Stays forever.
Once you understand it, I think you're ready. So come hold my hand and together we will sing.
Nothing stays the same forever. Our lives can be something better. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Yeah. Endings will be new beginnings. There's a time and place for everything. You need to know. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Come on. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nothing stays the same forever. Our lives can be so much better. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Yeah. Endings will be new beginnings. There's a time and place for everything. You need to know.
You gotta know.
That was our original song called Nothing Stays the Same Forever. This song is all about impermanence and also teaches us that we should always learn to adapt to new changes. The next song that we're going to perform is called Kata Nyuta. It is also one of our original songs that we have just released. Now, Kata Nyuta is a Pali word, and it means knowing and recognizing what has been done for one's benefit. In other words, it is gratitude. It teaches us that we should be thankful to our parents, our teachers, to the people around us. So we hope you enjoy.
Think of the world, of the earth, of the stars in the dark, being alive. Just being here with you is a blessing to me. It's a miracle. With the knowledge of knowing of what has been done for us, seeing the things the love people gave to us, living the life that we have right now. There are lessons for us to learn and discover through the difficulties and hardships that we face. So, blessings in the air. And I say, hey, my friend, just look around. There's more than you can see. Oh, God's a new time. Many things I'm grateful for in my life. Think of the love that you have all around in your life. It's irreplaceable. All through the years, what made you strong, made you fall all along. They knew who you are. With the knowledge of knowing of what has been done for us, seeing the things the love people gave to us, living the life that we have right now. There are lessons for us to learn and discover through the difficulties and hardships that we face. So, blessings in the air. And I say, hey, my friend, just look around. There's more than you can see. Oh, God's a new time. Many things I'm grateful for in my life. And I say, hey, just open up your eyes to the blessings in your life. Oh, God's a new time. Many things I'm grateful for in my life. We may be blinded by the ones in our minds and losing what's right in front of us. And I say, hey, my friend, just look around. There's more than you can see. God's a new time. Many things I'm grateful for in my life. And I say, hey, just open up your heart to the people in your life. God's a new time. Many things I'm grateful for in my life.
Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, thank you for tuning in. BuddySings wishes you Happy Wesak Day. May you and your family be blessed with good health, happiness, and peace. Sadhu to all of you.
Yeah, there we go, brothers and sisters. That was BuddySings with their award-winning single, Kata Nyuta. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they are award-winning artists as well. It has won prizes in the Buddhist Song Composition Competition 2021. And we hope that you can support them by giving them a follow on their social media pages at BuddySings Official. And also, please, if you are joining us on Facebook, please give them a heart right now so that they can see that you are giving them their support, right? Drop a heart down below in the comments. Yes, thank you so much, Brother Lee. It was a very meaningful song, right? Not just a very beautiful song, but also a very meaningful song. And ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that is all from us for today's morning session. Please be reminded that at 7 p.m. later, we will have a night session of chanting as well as a Dhamma talk. Please feel free to join us. And until then, we wish that you are able to find peace in your hearts and joy in your lives. For this year's theme, Peaceful Hearts and Joyful Living. Thank you once again for joining us. My name is Sean, and on behalf of all of us here at BUBS, we would like to wish you a happy Wesak Day, and stay safe, stay healthy, and stay connected to the Triple Gem. Thank you.